taking a ride, aren't you? Rolling up a steak and going to Vegas.
The #1 poker internet show is now on the radio. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. For the next 60 minutes, we're going to talk poker news, entertainment, and have lots of Sin City surprises. The phone lines are open at 731-1230. That's 731-1230. Or toll free. 1-866-820-5528. That's 1-866-820-KLAV. Now, let's bring on the hosts going all in. Here is Mark Hoke.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire, here we are.
Good morning.
Nate, I was hoping you were going to laugh at that for me. You're doing commentary with me. You're supposed to, when I lead.
Supposed to laugh at everything you say.
Exactly. That's how it goes. Hey, I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us here on the Mark Hoke Show here on KLAV, 1230 AM, the Talk of Las Vegas. Wow, what a hour we have here. If I could keep Sex and Money out of the studio for another hour, I'd do it. I would. There's so much we could talk about today. It's ridiculous. But we have some fantastic guests for you here. Great discussions. Man, I'll tell you what. Grindettes are going to be calling in here. And we have Joe Vigurs from the Win. He is the poker room manager over there. So
how you doing?
Be nice to him. Toke's accepted, right?
No,
not at all.
All
right, fair. No, hey, I tried to help.
That's all right.
I tried to help. Nate Dowland's over here too. Nate's doing commentary with me on Project All In. Nate, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming down on short notice.
I appreciate the invite.
You flew in here quick.
Wow. I'm only on the other side of town.
Yeah, not bad. And, of course, our featured guest today. And very honored to have this gentleman here because now, instead of what I had to do on Sunday where I said the Poker Hall of Fame nominee, I can now call him the Poker Hall of Fame, soon-to-be inductee, Tom McEvoy joining us here. Tom, how are you?
Good to be here. They probably didn't laugh at you, Mark, when you introduced yourself because maybe you're not that funny.
That's true. That is very true.
I'm only kidding.
Oh, I didn't laugh. I'm sorry.
All right, touche.
Oh, man. But, boy, we have a great show for you today. There is a lot going on in the poker world at this point. We're going to try and break it all down for you as fast as we can in this 1 hour we've got. Of course, right now, the World Series of Poker Europe is finishing up. Just to give you a quick update on what has happened since last week. A couple really great guys won bracelets. Jeremy Osmus and Noah Schwartz taking down bracelets over there. Big congratulations to those guys. I know Noah has come so close so many times to winning a bracelet. And, just thrilled for him. And Jeremy Osmus, of course, October Niner. We have to say October Niner.
Because he was one of the original when they took it back from Planet a day later.
Yeah, I mean, can we call him a November Niner now and just pretend that didn't happen?
No.
No?
He's the original October guy.
So, I guess that's going to happen every 4 years or so.
Something like that.
All right. All right. I'll stick with it. I'll be nice.
But that was a great win for Osmus, though.
Oh, absolutely.
He deserved a bracelet.
Roger Harabedian wins another bracelet in Europe, taking down the No Limit Hold'em event number 5 out there. So Roger winning his second bracelet, and 2 for the Frenchman. I still remember when he got into it with Mizrachi in that, I think it was the semifinals of the Mixmax a couple of years ago, and Mizrachi won his event over there. He trash talked with Mizrachi pretty well. That was impressive. But, hey, now he's got bracelets to back it up, so good for him. The main event is going on right now over there, and they are dropping like flies. We have, honest to God, I got here to the studios, and they were at about 14 players. They're down to 8 at the last time I checked. See if anybody else bit the dust. I might as well hit refresh here real quick. Adrian Mateos is leading the way, followed by Dominic Nitschke, Fabrice Soulier, name we're all fairly familiar with, Benny Spindler, Shannon Shore, Jerome Huget. I'm going to go with Huget. I'm betting that's French because this doesn't sound like huge works. Ravi Raghavan doing well over there on the final table. Andre Konopelko also hanging around. So one of those guys is going to get to be crowned a main event champion in Europe.
Now, Shannon Shore, there's an opponent.
Yes.
Very skilled player.
Yeah, Shannon, last check here is about 1.1 million tips here. Chip leader is about 2.38. So going to be a very interesting day to finish that up, and I'm sure that you can go to WSOP.com and follow the action. I bet they'd appreciate that.
I'll take Ravi.
You're going to take Ravi?
Yeah.
Hey, I don't blame you.
How do you pronounce all those names so accurately? Are you bluffing?
Total bluff. Total bluff. I have no idea.
I'd have a tough time.
Oh, my God. But now the event that it's actually creating some controversy over there right now, the high roller event is underway as well. I'm listing 36 left in that one, and Daniel Negron, who was out in front. You got Scott Seaver towards the top of the board, Sorrel Mizzi, Phil Ivey, Eric Seidel, who lost a heads up over there. Event number 2, Seidel nearly picking off bracelet number 9, came up a little short, but he's going to try it again here. You got Juha Helpy in there. Benjamin Pollock is on the board. Mark McLaughlin, November 9 are there. Jason Mercier. Your usual suspects battling it out over there. But what is making this event very interesting is that it has added more players into the opportunity to win Player of the Year race, which some people are really flipping out about.
They are, because they don't believe it's fair that it's gonna the 25,000 euro buy-in counts so much for points there.
Yep.
I mean, there shouldn't be that many people in contention for Player of the Year with the last event going on.
Before this, some players got eliminated from the WSOP Europe. There were actually about 17 or 18 players going into that event that could have been Player of the Year with the high roller event, which with 2 to go seems like a ridiculous number, but it's down to 5 now. It is Matt Ashton, Daniel Negreanu, Jeremy Osmus, Chris Klodnicki, good friend of mine, Sloppy Clod, and Mark McLaughlin. He's Sloppy Clod.
You're getting funnier.
I don't make the screen names. I just say them. That's all I do. But those 5 players are the last ones in contention to win Player of the Year, so keep your eye on those guys as they go through the high roller race. Daniel needs to finish 8th or higher. The other guys pretty much need to pull off a win. McLaughlin can finish in the top 2 as long as he wins the main event.
I don't think Negreanu can fail. I really don't. I don't believe that there's anybody in that field that's going to take him out before 8th place unless he makes a really bad move.
Yeah.
He knows what he's playing for, and he's a determined player. He's literally, in my book, he's the best in the world.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting finish. So keep an eye on it, guys, as we will possibly be crowning a Player of the Year over there, unless Mr. McLaughlin gets it rolling. So should be a good time. And you know what? We didn't do our news clip. It's brought to you by Poker News. You got to play that for me, Tim, just for fun.
Scanning the poker tables from around the world. This is The Read, brought to you by PokerNews.com.
Sorry, that's the new one, but that segment is called The Read now.
Okay.
It's called The Read. We were all clever and came up with that, and then I forgot to remind Tim to play it, and I'm going to take the full blame for that. Next time, we'll get it right. All right, so that's The Read. Also, hey, got to mention a couple things. We'll have Katie Stowe on here in just a second. A couple of things we want to make sure that we get to mention before we get rolling too far here. Some big events coming up here in Las Vegas this week. We got Project All In up at Quan International.
That's
Nate
gonna be
and I
fun.
are doing the commentary. Make sure you guys go to projectallin.com. We're going to have a lot of Nevada Poker League players up there. They're going to overrun us. But the broadcast scheduled to start at 8 p.m. Pacific time, so make sure you join us for that. It's going to be an awesome day as we will be breaking down hands and trying not to tear people apart too badly. Nate and I are nice guys. Christina might get into it. The Poker Throwdown's coming up November 30th. Of course, benefiting a couple of great animal rescues here in Las Vegas. That is going to be at the Golden Nugget, so make sure you check that out. And the Pinstripes and Polka Dots event.
With my good friend, the Duke of Fremont Street.
Yep.
He's going to
I'll
be
be
hosting
there.
that down Friday night. It's only a $100 buy-in. Make sure you come on down, say hi to everybody. If you knock out the Duke of Fremont, you actually win gold. He has got a bounty on his head for a 1/10 ounce piece of gold coin.
Goodness.
He's a fantastic character, and I've been invited to be a bounty myself again this year, and it's just a great, fun time. And we're going to get to rub elbows with a lot of well-known celebrities in Las Vegas, and for only $100 for a good charity too.
Yep. So make sure you come on down there. That's going to be also at the Golden Nugget coming up this weekend on Friday night. So plenty to do for you this weekend here. And the Wynn Classic is going on as well, and we're going to get to talk to Joe about that in a little bit. So, boy, keeping busy here in Las Vegas. A lot of fun.
Amazing
A lot of fun. So, yeah, but make sure you get down to the Pinstripes and Polka Dots Poker Tournament. It's $100. Benefiting the Clark County Museum Guild. Should be a good time. All right, we have on the phone. It is Grindettes time. Katie Stone is on the line. And let's say hi to Katie. Katie, how are you?
Hey, Mark.
Hey.
How are you?
I am fantastic. Great to talk to you. And, of course, make sure you follow the Grindettes on Twitter at Grindettes, Facebook, the Grindettes, and the website, grindettes.com. Katie, so
Yeah.
now you texted me. I told you some things, a couple ideas we want to talk about real quick. And, you were talking about the Hall of Fame selection process. What were your thoughts on that? I'm curious to hear.
Well, my thoughts might be a little bit scattered because I have a lot of tables going right now. But
She's down in Mexico playing online.
Yeah, at least you don't have to hear the beeping. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this last week about the Hall of Fame inductees and all of the people that were nominated. I don't know. I think that the two inductees that got in were obvious choices. I mean, if they didn't get in this year, they should or would have gotten in, a subsequent year. But I think that, like the criteria I don't know. I'm not sure that I'm like 100% on board with like what the criteria is as far as like who should be inducted and who shouldn't. Like one of the criteria is like having had, there's like a Twitter debate kind of going on right now about, like playing high stakes, and like that's one of the criteria in order to be inducted into the Hall of Fame is that you've had to play for high stakes. And I don't know. I don't think that that's like necessarily something that you can actually hold somebody to, and also like it's just not. I don't think it's really exactly relevant either. Like it's not just because you've played for high stakes doesn't mean that you're a good player.
Yeah.
Like there's so many like huge games that go on, and so many people incorrectly assume that amateurs or just people who just don't know that. If you see somebody playing 1K, 2K, deuce to 7. Wow, they must be the best in the world, but most of the time that is not true. Most
Exactly.
of the time.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't say most of the time they're bad, but high stakes players do not equate to a high level of skill. And so I think that that's a little bit of a confusing requirement for the Hall of Fame. I think it needs to be a little bit more specific as far as like what's considered high stakes, what do you consider, like what are you trying to get at? If you're requiring somebody to play high stakes to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, what exactly is the goal? You're trying to ensure that you have good players that have good resumes, but you can't say that just because they've played high stakes, they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. So I think it's an interesting discussion that's going on. I think it's something that needs to be talked about a little bit more and possibly refined in the future.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people also forget what needs to be, what you do off the table as well. For example, with Tom here, his accomplishments off the table are just as important as what he did on the table. So when you have those factors added in, I think being a great ambassador for the game is something that I don't know if people put enough stress on when they're doing these selections.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Like having somebody who represents the industry well, represents the game well, has clearly contributed, has put in the time, paid their dues, so to speak, and obviously winning the main event is always a good notch to have when you're being inducted into the Hall of Fame. But just because somebody won the main event or just because they played high stakes, you need to be a well-rounded candidate and somebody who has experienced a lot in the game and is somebody that other poker players as well as just people watching TV or just people who don't avidly play the game, just kind of casually play the game, somebody that they can look up to and respect.
Absolutely. I think that's just as important. Well, Katie, I tell you what. Hey, by the way, I got to get you guys on the show on Sunday. I got to shoot you a text about that.
Just text me anytime. I'm usually in front of my computer at that time, so 'cause it's Sunday. So.
All right, sounds good. Well, Katie, thank you so much for calling in. We heart the Grindettes. all the
Well,
time.
we love you too, Mark.
All right. We'll talk to you again soon, Katie. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right, there you go. So check them out, grindettes.com. They are just amazing, amazing ladies. By the way, speaking of Sunday's show, we're moving that internet show to 3 o'clock on Sundays now. One of the guests is going to be Doug Hall, the author of Poker Plays You Can Use, and Doug has his tip of the day. So let's hear it.
It's time for the Poker Plays You Can Use strategy segment with author Doug Hall.
This is Doug Hall, author of Poker Plays You Can Use. Let's talk about bad bet sizing pre-flop. You cannot have a standard raise to 20 in a 2-5 game. You need to account for the limpers. You need to increase your pre-flop raise for every limper. That means you might be raising $40 pre-flop. I raise 25 plus 5 for every limper. This gives you a real chance of just taking it pre-flop. That is always a good result. Think about it this way. With 3 limpers, your call in the blinds, there's already $27 in the pot. A raise to 40 is very reasonable, whereas a raise to $20 is just going to get everyone to call the additional 15, but not really limit their range. Visit 3barrelbluff.com for more tips and to pick up Poker Plays You Can Use.
All right, thanks, Doug, for that great advice. Doug, we had to repeat one because Doug is in town. He flew in, so he's going to be here live on Sunday with us. But pick up Poker Plays You Can Use at 3barrelbluff.com. 25% off with the promo plug. But I haven't. I'm going Europe already. Get 25% off with promo code KLAV. Don't waste no time. Go out and buy that thing right now, kids. All right, we're going to hit a commercial break, and we're going to come back. We have Tom and Joe and Nate having a great time. Thanks for joining us.
Join us on Saturday, November 30th for an outstanding day of poker excitement. It's Lane Flack's On Tilt Poker Throwdown 2013 at the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas to benefit the Southern Nevada Bully Breed Rescue and the Las Vegas Boxer Rescue. Brought to you by On Tilt Merchandisers and Rockwell Watches. The Poker Throwdown features a unique 5-team format plus individual participation as well. Team up with a poker pro or celebrity and take your shot at winning it all. Red carpet photos, silent auctions, great poker action, and a VIP after party await you at the poker charity event of the year. Visit pokerthrowdown.net for more information and join Lane Flack at the Golden Nugget on Saturday, November 30th for the On Tilt Poker Throwdown.
When it comes to custom poker tables, why would you buy something someone else designed and even named for their sales or marketing purposes?
The Nighthawk, the Gambler, the Big Slick, the Nuts.
Sure, you can customize it if you want, as long as you choose between black, red, or even green cloth, but that's about it. When you choose to play off tilt, it's not just another table, it's your table. The same price gets you a fully custom designed table that reflects your style and game. Off tilt makes it easy to design a truly one-of-a-kind custom poker table that'll give you home table advantage. Sure, Off Tilt could name their tables for marketing purposes, but why? It's not ours. We don't play on it. And to be honest, there are over 1,000 named Off Tilt tables worldwide, including the WSOP, the Deep Stacks Poker Tour, the Jonathan Papelbon, as well as Julie's, Chris's, Scott's, Amber's, Tristan's, just to name a few. So let us add your name to the list and deliver a truly custom-crafted, furniture-quality poker table worthy of your game. Visit www.offtiltpokertables.com or call Brian Knott today at 262-490-3812. We'll show you why Off Tilt is the only way to play.
Want to be a millionaire? Then see if you can become fantasy sports royalty in the 2013 Fantasy Football Millionaire Grand Final at DraftKings.com. Play for free or in paid contests for real money, plus games last one day, so there's no long-term commitment. Thousands of winners have won over 10 million prizes on DraftKings.com, and now it's your turn to cash in. Go to DraftKings.com right now, enter the promo code Hoke, and get a 100% deposit bonus and a free entry into the Millionaire Grand Final qualifier. So don't wait. Crown yourself the king of fantasy sports at DraftKings.com. The heat is on. Whether you're in the hot seat of a major poker tournament or just dealing with everyday life, stay cool with a brand new Arctic Blue cooling towel. Just wet your reusable and durable Arctic Blue cooling towel in cold water, and you'll have instant cooling relief at your fingertips for up to 5 hours. The towel is lightweight and pliable, so you can keep it handy no matter where you are. Plus, it's absorbent enough to make sure you and your clothes stay dry while you stay cool. No need to sweat it out, no matter what you're doing, when you have an Arctic Blue cooling towel handy. So get the same cooling towel used by professional athletes, poker players, first responders, physical therapists, U.S. automakers, and even reality TV stars. So what are you waiting for? Visit them today at arcticblu.com and pick yours up today. Plus, enter the discount code MarkHokeShow when you check out and get 15% off plus free shipping to keep some of your cold hard cash in your wallet. It's like the Arctic Blue Bear says, it's not cool to be hot. So pick up your Arctic Blue cooling towel today.
One man, his lucky shirt, an unforgettable night, and a winning streak that never seemed to end. That's how Blind Squirrel began, and we haven't looked back since. We make the clothes that we want to wear for the places where we want to look and feel our best. The game, the speakeasy, and the casino floor. Blind Squirrel's small batch, high-quality gear is for people too busy grabbing life by the nuts to bother with crappy, ill-fitting clothing. Because like you, we prefer our nights long, our drinks strong, and our lucky shirt to be our most comfortable. So look good, be lucky, and visit blindsquirrelapparel.com for your new favorite shirt. As an added bonus, you'll receive 20% off your purchase with the promo code HOKE, H-O-K-E. You can also pick up Blind Squirrel apparel at the Borgata in Atlantic City and in Las Vegas at all Masura stores at Mandalay Bay, Monte Carlo, the Mirage, and MGM Grand. Look good and be lucky with Blind Squirrel apparel.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Oh, we got it started in here. Oh, man, I'll tell you, I've got to record what happens in here in the commercial breaks.
Yeah.
The discussions are incredible. We'll carry some of this over as we get into our panel discussion later in the show. And by the way, Mark Hoke Show is powered by BlueRail.net and brought to you by Blind Squirrel Apparel. You get 20% off with the code HOKE. Off-tilt poker tables, Team Poker Joker, poker plays you can use. Final 9 comic. Hey, you can get that free preview of the comic book. Just go to final9comic.com. Our good friends Arctic Blue Cooling Towels, 15% off. You go to arcticblu.com, pick up your Arctic Blue Cooling Towel, 15% off, and free shipping with the code Mark Hoke Show. 3Bet Clothing, get 15% off with the code radio. RogueWire.com, and of course, DoubleDigitCovers.com, our new sponsor. Hey, you want to win some bets? Check it out, DoubleDigitCovers.com. They got you covered down there. Some of the best sports handicappers in the business. All right. Well, Joe, I want to make sure we get to you because we want to talk to you about the Wynn Classic going on right now. Another exciting event here in Las Vegas. Tell everybody what's happening down there at the Wynn right now.
So basically, I want to start off by talking about our guaranteed events that we do. So currently, we are in a second flight of a $250,000 guarantee. So affordable buy-ins. The buy-in is $550. We are a little short and behind pace on hitting the guarantee. We only had 81 players in yesterday's opening flight. So we need 420, 430 or so over the next 2 days. So basically, that's kind of our standard, and what we do is, we offer substantial guarantees for affordable buy-ins so that people, just anybody that's playing 1-3, no matter what stakes you play, that you can get into one of these tournaments and win, 50, 60, 70,000, something like that for first place. So it starts at noon today, the second flight. Third flight is tomorrow. And then going into the weekend, we have some super satellites on Friday, noon and 7, 2 1/4. Going into the weekend, we have a $1,600 main event. So a lot of big names come out for these events. You can, like Tom said, you can bump shoulders with some of these guys. Even for the $550 buy-ins, a lot of these guys play those, so they're affordable. And you can, like I said, bump elbows with some very good players out there that come down for these things. So that's where we're at. We're wrapping up the series Saturday and Sunday, 2 flights to get into that. Main event 1,600, and honestly, the satellites 2 1/4. Anybody can they're affordable. Anybody can come down. You can win a substantial amount. Obviously, you guys all know how those work, but that's where we stand right now.
It's interesting. You're talking about the overlays, and we've been seeing a trend in that in poker. That with the Millionaire Maker, and then the $10 million that tournament down at the Hard Rock. Is that the way things are going now? I mean, we're going to see more and more of this constantly with these big guarantees to draw people in.
Yeah, I think that with the substantial number of tournament series that are going on in the industry, that you kind of have to put them out there just to ensure that people. And there's two things about it. It's one, that there's a possibility, and everybody likes the casino to come out of pocket, of course, which isn't always a bad thing. Giving a little bit back to the poker community is never bad. But the other thing is, if they do hit the guarantee, great. You have a huge prize pool to play for. So either way, it's win-win for the players, which is obviously most important. So if in some other properties, they do smaller ones. We do smaller ones during the week as well. We do a 2 1/4, 25,000 guarantee every single Saturday, and that field size has been increasingly, and it's been very popular. It's a little different format than normal. It's a rebuy and add-on instead of a re-entry. So the prize pool, it makes first place a little bit higher the way the payouts are structured. So it's for 2 1/4, people can come down and win 10 grand, 11,000. It's pretty substantial. For very affordable for pretty much anybody nowadays that's playing poker in a casino. It's definitely affordable. And some people do tournament series with smaller buy-ins, just with smaller guarantees. But either way, they're maximizing their value. You guys play. Just to know that, hey, it's not going to be 12 players that show up and we're not going to. We'll be playing a one-table sit-and-go basically for $500. We just want to see that there's going to be a field, and if there's not, the casino's coming out of pocket. So either way, it's better for the player if there's less players. So it's win-win for the players basically, and it's kind of where we stand. I think that most properties in Vegas, anyways, I think actually I've been seeing it all over. I mean, you guys see the ads in Card Player, and all the magazines, Bluff, All In. Everybody's putting some kind of guarantees in there at some point, whether it's small buy-in, small guarantee, $400 or $500, $1,000, $1,500. That's pretty much how the industry's gone, and it seems to bring in a crowd. It seems to work pretty well. And like I said, if you miss, it's okay. You give a little bit back to the poker community, and thrive the economy a little bit for the poker players, and that's always good. And if you don't, the players aren't upset. They still have a significant amount of, for example, this tournament we're in now, we've $250,000 on the line for a guarantee. So, it gives a little more reason to buy back in as well and fire a second or third bullet because it's substantial. And then people see, we actually have guys wait around and see if we're going to miss sometimes. And so, vultures. Yeah. Well, I told them for a couple of them, I said, we're going to miss, so you might as well get in now and get maximum play.
There you go.
There you go. We've missed a couple. We've given back about close to 10,000 so far over the course of this series on a couple of the $400 buy-ins. The last $250,000, we missed it by just a few players, maybe 4 or 5 players. So either way, that's not a big overlay to get everybody excited about, but the 6,000 for one of the other ones was pretty significant. And, like I said, it's just you'll have maybe 2-3 guys waiting on the rail and kind of track and see if people are going to the cage to re-enter and stuff like that. But it makes it fun. But again, it gives people a reason to come out. And if you do hit, you're still playing for, 50. I think 51,000 was first prize for the last one when we missed. So either way, for 500, I'm not saying it's chump change, but most anybody that's playing in a Las Vegas casino, can it's affordable to at least take a shot. That's all.
Yep. So make sure you get down to the Win. You can check it out on the website, of course, winpoker.com. Give them a call at 702-770-7654 and get in the Win Classic running through October 29th, man. Say hi to Joe. He's all fired up. I can
Don't miss out.
All right.
Kenna James took down the Win Classic this last summer.
Yes, he did.
Very, very good score for Kenna.
It was a 5K buy-in, yeah.
Nice. Good for Kenna.
Good cash games there, too. I played there several times.
It's good action.
All right. So when do I get to come down?
Today.
Okay, done. All right.
Bring your 550.
Bring your 550. I don't get a promotional bonus? No?
575 just for you, Mark.
Wow, thank you.
Maybe I'll take you to dinner.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, let's get to Tom here. The Poker Hall of Famer, Tom McEvoy, and give him a round of applause. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Tom, we actually had just done an interview on Sunday on the internet show on RogueWire, and you really had downplayed that you you weren't making the push anymore. That's like, hey, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But now that it has happened, what does this mean to you?
Well, next to winning the main event last century, actually only 30 years ago, it was last century.
How many were in there?
What was it, 83, 84?
83. There was 108 the year I won, and there was no such thing as dead money back then. So it was almost always either top pros or top amateurs that were like semi-pros. But next to winning the main event, which of course nothing can really top, I think getting inducted into the Poker Hall of Fame is the next most important thing in my poker career. I consider that a lifetime achievement award, and it's kind of a validation of the things I've accomplished in poker and things I've done for poker, because I've not just been a player, I've done many other things off the table, and I think that's kind of getting recognized for some of that, as well as what I accomplished as a player. So I was making jokes about how I held the record for the most nominations, 5. This was the 5th year I was nominated. They only did nominations for the last 5 years, and I lost the other 4 elections. So I held the record for most lost elections. So I'm glad that little streak is over. But this year, as I was talking to Mark on his show last week, I guess the best thing I can say is I surrendered to the universe. I didn't ask one person to either nominate me or vote for me this year. And I just kind of like, well, if it happens, it's because people feel I deserve to be in. It's not because I kissed anybody's butt or done anybody any special favors. I just was myself and let it go at that. Naturally, I was hoping to get in, but I didn't really expect much. I didn't want to get too disappointed like I was in the past. So this year I was kind of like, okay, great. If it happens, it happens. I let it go. And, of course, naturally, when you give up, it's like when you're looking for a relationship. When you finally give up, it seems to happen.
Yep.
That's kind of the same situation.
Happens in a tournament sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You bet. Just give up and wait, and then all of a sudden that hand pops up.
Well, I never give up in tournaments, though. That's always been one of my strong points. I make jokes about I'm one of the world's greatest short stack players, mainly because I've had so much practice with one. So think about that. It's not that funny, but I won a lot of tournaments when I came back from what looked like a hopeless chip situation.
Well, of course, now November 3rd down at the Rio. It's going to finally happen. The induction ceremony takes place. It's going to be you and Scotty Wynn. And that night, I mean, I'm just picturing all the people that are going to be supporting you and everybody that's going to be coming in going crazy for Scotty. What kind of emotions are you expecting to be going through that night? Because I think it's just going to be a wild roller coaster ride for everybody on the 3rd.
I completely agree with that. I have a lot of family members coming in. I got more friends that have requested tickets to the Hall of Fame dinner than I can provide. And Scotty has always been a very high energy person, and a lot of his friends are too. So I think that the energy level will be just something indescribable for both of us. We both have a lot of family and friends that are going to be there, and just general well-wishers. So it's going to be an emotional night and a fun night, and naturally I'm just looking forward to it. I even promised to wear a tux.
Oh, my God.
Well, Mark's sitting here with a bright purple shirt, and the
Yeah.
first thing I said was, I really like your shirt, Mark, but I can't wear it.
You wouldn't wear this somewhere? I'll loan it to you.
Oh, I would wear it all right. I just can't wear it to my induction.
Throw it over the tux. Just for a second. It'd be kind of funny. No, it wouldn't actually. It'd be terrible. But now, one thing that has been interesting since this class was announced was it really sparked a lot of debate in terms of the criteria for people getting in. We talked about the high stakes thing, and now you're actually going to be a voter now. So where do you see that process going? Do you think there should be any change? Should we be letting more people in? Should the criteria change? Where are your thoughts?
My thoughts are this. I think you have to consider the person's overall contributions to poker, not just what he's done at the table. There are several past inductees who have done more away from the table than on it. Good example is Linda Johnson, and I certainly wouldn't disagree with her being in. The man who invented the whole card camera, he did win a bracelet, but he's also in, but it was mainly for his other contributions. Eric Drake last year got in, and he was a former director of the World Series of Poker, but as a player, he didn't accomplish nearly as much. So there's other criteria and other things to be considered. Scotty and I are both considered more tournament specialists than cash game players, although we both do both, but our notoriety has been mainly in the tournament arena, and I certainly don't think that should be a reason to exclude either one of us. So I think you have to look at the overall picture. And besides, some of the people, as mentioned earlier, that play high-stakes cash games do so because they got lots of money, not because they have lots of skill necessarily. Mm-hmm. So if you want to talk just about financial success at the poker table, I can name two people who have made a lot of money playing poker, and they're both persona non grata, Chris Ferguson and Howard Lederer. So do they deserve any consideration because they made a lot of money off poker? Not the way they did it.
Nope. I'm with you on that. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes forward, and we're going to, we get after our commercial break, we'll get to talk a little bit about that. But before we go to the commercial break, I have you guys ready. It's time for the Arctic Blue game of the day.
It's time for the Arctic Blue Keep Your Cool game of the day.
You guys look so scared.
Speak for yourself.
McEvoy's got this. So I thought what we'd do is we recognize the Poker Hall of Famers today in our Arctic Blue game of the day. Of course, brought to you by Arctic Blue Cooling Towels. Make sure you go to arcticblue.com. Check them out. So here's what we're going to do. Let's see how well you guys know who's in the Poker Hall of Fame.
Uh-oh.
Let's find out. All right, so what I did was breaking them up into 3 groups, going by a year, and you guys have to go through and name a Hall of Famer. Okay?
No.
So like our first group, 2005, 2012, each have to name one except for Tom. When it's your turn, Tom, you got to name 2.
Okay.
You should be able to do this, Tom. All right, so let's get this started. Joe, I'm going to give you the first pop of this, and no peeking on your cell phones over there. Yeah, let's see, now he's looking up. I
got a photographic memory.
I got to tell on that. All right.
You mean you got a photograph for him?
Yeah.
So Poker Hall of Fame inductees, first 2005 through 2012. Go ahead.
Linda Johnson.
Correct. Nate.
Doyle Brunson.
No, he's a little earlier than that.
Oh, okay.
He's a little earlier than that. Tom, I need 2 that were inducted from 05 to present.
Barry Greenstein.
Correct.
Sailor Roberts.
Okay, there's your 2.
Oh.
Okay, we'll go back to Joe. Joe.
Just one, right?
Yeah, just give me one.
Eric Seidel.
Correct. Tom, give me 2.
Dan Harrington and Eric Drake.
Good. Joe.
Sexton.
Yes.
Mike Sexton.
Tom, give me 2.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, there's some.
You covered most of them from the last, let's see. From 2005, Barbara Enright and Phil Hellmuth were 2007.
That is correct. Joe. He's got it on you, man. Look out.
I was going to say Hellmuth too, but I think Harrington was in that range.
Yep, already said, though.
Harrington was said?
Already said.
Cloutier?
Yes.
Okay, winner.
Tom, you need 2. We're running out here, too. I think I've only got...
you said 05, right? Yeah, that's not...
I've got like 4 left here.
Crandall Addington was 1. And let's see. I believe Jack Binion was also inducted in the last.
Correct. Joe, there's 2 left.
I think not Baxter.
Yes.
Baxter.
There's one left. Who is it, Tom?
You're putting a lot of extra pressure
on
me.
Hey, man, Joe.
I got to study. I got an advantage.
Let me think for a minute.
By the way, Tim, we are going to run long, I think, here a little bit. There it is.
All right, I can't remember.
Joe wins round
I don't know.
one.
I don't
Do you
know the
who it
other
is?
one. No.
The last one left was Dewey Tomko.
Oh, no. I wouldn't have got that.
Good old Dewey
I knew
Tomko.
that.
Dewey Tomko. Impressive. Joe wins round one.
He gave me a heads up.
Joe wins round one. All right, let's go to round two here. Okay, round two. This is gonna be a little tougher. 1988 to 2004. All right.
Oh Lord.
All right, 1988 to 2004. Nate, I'm gonna let you start this time because you got left out.
Is it going to be Doyle again?
And yes, Doyle was 1988.
Right.
Tom, I need two.
Little Man Popwell.
Yep.
Was it Red Hodges? That might have been earlier, though.
Yes, that was earlier. So you might want to store that answer for later. But Tom is out. Joe.
Stu Unger.
Yes. Nate just
that was the one you were
he
gonna
just
say?
cringed over there.
Yeah.
I've been going through my mind going who, and then I had Stu, and then you said it. I'm like, darn. 1988. I'm drawing such a blank.
5 seconds.
Amarillo Slim.
Yes.
Johnny,
Just another one.
I was gonna say that one too. Johnny Chan.
Yep. Poor Nate. He's twitching in his seat. This is a bad read for Nate.
Oh, it's just there's it's so long ago.
5 seconds again. Nothing.
Total blank.
Total blank. Can you give me one more?
I don't remember. I think Miller. Jack. No, I don't remember.
We had Barry Johnson, Bobby Baldwin, Lyle Berman,
Baldwin.
Berman, Roger Moore, Jack Keller, and Chip Reese was in there. Benny Binion
Jack
was in
Keller
that
is the one
group.
I was thinking of.
Treetop Strauss there as well. So
Strauss.
And we're running long, so we won't get to do the third round. But Joe, cleaning house over there. Way to go.
They gave me an advantage. They told me to study.
I did warn you a little bit. All right, let's get a commercial break in because we got some chatting to do before this show's up. So stick around. We'll be right back with a great group, guys. Join the show. Thanks a lot.
Sports bettors, tired of getting beat every week at your sportsbook? It's time to stop guessing and start winning. We all know cash is king, and it's time to let the team at Double Digit Covers come to the rescue to help you get the positive cash flow you need to live the life of fast cars and fast women you've always dreamed about. Tony Dos and his all-star sports handicapping team will be in your corner to help you beat the point spread, bring excitement and winning to your betting experience, and build your bankroll to levels you never thought possible. Get free winning sports information at doubledigitcovers.com and call now for today's free winner at 1-855-489-2700. That's 1-855-489-2700. Stop guessing and start winning today at doubledigitcovers.com.
Last summer, I was at the World Series of Poker every day and couldn't walk 2 steps without seeing someone wearing 3Bet clothing. It's super comfortable and stylish, and all their stuff looks amazing. The incredible team of pros who wear 3Bet hats, hoodies, tees, and more are a who's who in poker. All-time greats like Jonathan Little, Doc Sands, Brian Rask, Jason Kuhn, Scott Clements, Greg Mueller, Ben Tollerine, Jeff Gross, and of course, Antonio Esfandiari, all proudly wearing the 3Bet brand. They wear 3Bet clothing because they know that being comfortable and feeling confident is crucial to winning on and off the tables. 3Bet.com has shipped thousands of orders worldwide, and it's time for you to join the 3Bet team just like the pros. Go to the number 3bet.com and receive an added bonus of 15% off with the promo code RADIO. Make that right call. Look and feel like a pro at 3bet.com.
Poker is more fun when you win. Most poker books are too theoretical. They tell you to be more aggressive but give few practical examples. Poker Plays You Can Use by Doug Hull, edited by Ed Miller, has 49 concepts with multiple, clear examples from real, live 1-2 through 5-10 games. Each hand is visually represented, explaining which players are vulnerable to these moves. Use discount code KLAV at 3barrelbluff.com to get 25% off your copy. Paper and ebook available.
Your business and promotion will only go as far as your website will take you. That's why the Mark Hoke Show has only trusted one name for over 2 years, BlueRail.net. Whether you need custom website design and development packages or simply need a host for your website, Blue Rail is the only developer to turn to. It's time to discover the world-class personalized service only the Blue Rail team can provide. Visit us at BlueRail.net and call 520-822-5128 right now for your free consultation today. So get on board at BlueRail.net. How far do you want to go?
At Team Poker Joker, we build innovative, high-performance, poker-focused apparel designed to keep you cool and calm in tough situations. Wait, no we don't. We've just got a cool brand representing the suits of this beautiful game called poker. Our gear won't make you better, but it will keep a smile on your face. So don't be so serious and show you know how to have fun. Get your Poker Joker gear today at TeamPokerJoker.com. Grin and win today at TeamPokerJoker.com.
9 poker players on a dramatic path to glory with unbelievable twists and turns that will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's the Final 9 comic from Room 110 Publishing. Go to final9comic.com to download the first issue preview and get ready for the official launch on October 21st, 2013. 9 will become 1 way or another. Final9comic.com.
The best in poker news, entertainment, and more. This is the Mark Hoke Show.
All right, and we're back here on air guitar, and I'm just having too much fun. Joe Vigurs in here from Win Poker. Nate Dowland, Project All In, and everything else he's doing. He's all over the place.
On tilt.
Yep. And, of course, the soon-to-be inductee of the Poker Hall of Fame, Tom McEvoy, joining us. Now, we got into an interesting discussion about the criteria for the Poker Hall of Fame. And it seems like all you guys have pretty strong opinions about that. And Nate, let me go to you on this. You know, talking about the cash game criteria and some of the other things that are in that, do you feel that a change needs to be made on this at this point?
Well, cash games, anybody can sit down and play as long as you've got mediocre knowledge of the game of poker. Anybody can sit down and win a couple hands. Tournaments are pure skill. But sure, you can get lucky and take out the best in the world like Tom or anybody at any time, but the chances that you're going to be able to do that with very little knowledge is slim. I don't think cash games mean that much to the poker world, just my opinion. I think you're going to get more recognition taking down large tournaments and contributing to the game. Tom does so much for the game. He also teaches the game with the World Series of Poker Academy. He does so much, and there's a lot of good things that should be recognized when you're voting for somebody for the Hall of Fame. Like obviously drinking at the table has nothing to do with it. Scotty got in. He had the most. He had the drunkest moment of his poker history, winning a bracelet. I mean, there's a lot of things that I think should matter that probably will never matter.
Joe, you were talking about some of the players that you see at the big cash games, and I'm sure that you wouldn't necessarily qualify them as Hall of Fame type players.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, not
some of them.
Yeah, I mean, not mentioning any names, obviously, but I don't think that you're ever going to be able to track cash games. Obviously, you do see some stuff online where certain players have significant wins or just a swing either way, millions for that matter, in 1 week. So, that doesn't necessarily prove them good or bad. I understand in tournament poker, obviously, you need stamina, and you need to kind of be able to do that for sometimes days on end. One tournament's a lot of times nowadays at least 2 days, with a significant stack and a good structure. So, I don't necessarily. I don't 100% agree that cash shouldn't I mean, it never will, most likely, because you can't really keep track of it. Tournaments, you can even go into, maybe you could track how many buy-ins somebody has, but I mean, I don't know if they could come up with a formula, somehow as to how many times you actually entered, or how much money you actually spent in ratio to what you won. So, you could, everybody, the way I look at it, has a lot more knowledge of the game than they did 10 years ago, obviously. So there's more people that have some kind of knowledge of percentages and when they're in a coin flip situation, 60-40, 70-30, whatever their situation that they're in, to know when they should push and when they shouldn't. And then sometimes the things just come down to a coin flip. I've been in situations playing tournaments online, playing tournaments cash, where a 6th place finish, easily could have been first. Had you have won a coin flip 3-way all in, and you guys have all seen it, obviously. Ace, king here, queens here, and maybe a smaller pair there. And, you're in there with the queens, and obviously you lose. So, everybody knows how that goes. So sometimes it does come down to that, and you could have busted 2 players and been the chip leader. But I don't necessarily disagree with how they do it now. I think some of the things are pretty important and significant. I think off the table things should be recognized as well, as far as what you contribute to the community, poker community, and the game. It should be people that are very respectful, or looked at respectfully in the game, as far as integrity, right? Stuff like that. I think is a big important factor. Obviously, if the people are voting, think that person's integrity is held high, then that person deserves to be in there. Stuff like that. So I think that some of the criteria is very good. Some of it, may not change, like you said. But, I don't know. You're never really going to be able to track a cash game player, I don't think, the way that, the structure of poker is set up in a casino.
Exactly.
So, obviously online, but not in a casino.
Tom, let me ask you this in terms of the Hall of Fame. Now, if you had to pick 2 players to go in next year, if it was all up to you, who would you pick?
At the head of my list would be Chris Bjorn. He's from Sweden, and he's been around like forever. He was the 2nd oldest nominee this year. I was the oldest at 68. He's 65. But he's always conducted himself like a gentleman. He's had fantastic overall results. He's got some bracelets, and I think it's high time that a foreign player got recognized, not just a U.S. player. And David Chu has won like 5 bracelets. If I had to pick 2 guys next year, those would be my 2 choices right now. Eventually, I do believe that former World Series winners like Huckseed and Carlos Mortensen should get in, but they're still in their early 40s. I think guys that are a little bit older should get in before the real young ones.
Yeah, and Lane Flack actually said that on the show last week. That he'd like to see everybody wait until they're 50 instead of 40 to be considered, just because of the longevity factor and the possible screw up factor as well.
I agree.
So it's going to be a very interesting as we move forward. I think some great debates been going on, and we'll be taking a look at that as we move forward. But I'll tell you what a great show, guys.
Having fun
so much, man. Like I said, we could have gone another hour. Yeah. This has been a great time. I love it. Tom McEvoy, Nate Dowland, Joe Vigurs. And by the way, of course, don't forget, on Sunday, the internet show moves to 3 o'clock. And we're going to have Doug Hull, and just got in touch, Jay Farber, the number 9, is going to be joining us on there too.
Nice.
And I'm going to track Ryan Reese down. I'm going to get all of them on there and let them duke it out. So, hey, on behalf of all these gentlemen and KLAV, thank you so much for another great Mark Hoke show. Guys, it was a pleasure to have you in here.
Thanks for having us.
Fun time.
Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.